All right, we're going to do our first fan appreciation. So we're looking for 2 volunteers who want to spend a couple minutes to share stories. Curtis, you work with us, you can't tell us your story. Thank you. All right, I'll pick one and Rojas pick one. Let's go right here in front in the wonderful Durrock costume.
Okay, I'll go with the guy who just took his sunglasses off.
Nice. All right, come on upstairs right over this side. So we'll let you guys talk, and then we'll read a couple from the, what do you call it, the fans.
Join us.
So come join us, yes, come on up. So what's your name?
Kayla.
Kayla, thank you so much for coming up here. Let's why don't you give people a nice little story about how your anime's affected your life.
I actually was very shy as a child, and I got into anime conventions and stuff, and now I'm running one of the biggest photo shoots here at Anime Boston. I run the Italia photo shoots.
Yay, Italia!
Oh God, Italia. That's crazy.
And like I've met so many really good people. Like I don't have friends from high school. All of my friends are from anime conventions. Like if I have like a breakdown or something for whatever reason, there was one time I had a breakdown and I think it was another anime con in something next year. And just out of nowhere, there's this Russian that just came up and hugged me. And I was like,
Russia cares.
That's so funny.
It's a big bear.
They weren't being creepy, but they were like, you need a hug, so they just like stood there and hugged me.
Everyone. That's so awesome.
Thank you very much.
And this is a wonderful line too, because the first story I was going to read, as I'm hearing your story, I'm looking at the name going, that's yours. So you actually were the one we're going to read next, so that's awesome. So exactly, it's literally right in front of you. Oh, that sounds like Russia. Yeah, that's the one next. So you're going to win a Katsu box set for that. We actually don't have it with us, but this wonderful PR man at the end here will take your name and your address, so we can mail it right out to you. All right. Thank you, Kayla.
All right. Actually, let's move over. Make the camera. There we go. All right, and today we have with us Ian. Tell us your story.
Well, it's a long story. I've watched tons and tons of anime, as I bet some of you others have. But Fullmetal Alchemist was my first, because a friend of mine recommended it to me. And I don't know. Next thing you know, it's hours upon hours in front of a computer. So yeah.
Watching the Elric brothers just trump forward.
Exactly. Oh no, and that's why I dressed up as Greed, just because he's such a great character. He was one of the best before he died.
Spoiler. And then he came back and the total continued on. Yes.
But yeah, I mean, it's great. I've met so many new friends who shared that same passion for anime, and that's why it rocks.
Awesome. Thank you. And you will be getting, let's make sure you're on here. So at least you play me on music. Nope, you're not here. Okay, perfect. You will be getting a La Chevalier Dion box set. Yeah, it's a wonderful series. Yeah, La Chef, it's wonderful. So it's right there is I'll take her information. But I'll read, since Kayla was here, we won't read her story again, but let's read as part 2. This wonderful story here. We're also getting a La Chef box set. La Chevalier Dion, because I can't spell, so La Chef sounds cool. From Madeline P. I hope I'm doing this right. Ever since I was a little kid, I lived in clinical depression and extreme anxiety. Both of such factors, I missed out on a lot of my childhood just because I was afraid to do anything. I lived much of my young life hiding away, not making many friends, and essentially staying in the background. I wasn't happy, I wasn't successful, and I wasn't healthy. Through the middle school and high school, all I would do is draw anime. I would neglect my studies and eventually fail most of my classes. Why? Because I was afraid. I was scared of everything, even of being successful. It wasn't until my first year in college that I got into Black Belt. Sure, maybe it's a little old for me liking anime, but I decided I didn't care. In fact, what reason did I have to be ashamed or afraid of anything? As long as I had the will, I had the power. At least, that's what I realized after watching at least 12 episodes. CL taught me a lot about taking charge of your life and not letting every little thing get in the way. He was strong and didn't care what anyone thought, no matter what. It was if I was honest with myself, I would say I owe every one of my recent successes to him. Because of that pride and determination that I learned to adopt, I've since lost weight, decided to go to college for something I love, and even made the dean's list. I'm so much happier, and it's because of that character. To any normal person, this might sound a little silly, but to me, it doesn't matter. I am in Seattle, and in doing so, I took charge of my life. Thank you, Funimation, for bringing the anime to the States that offers people other people might be inspired the way I was. So thank you. All right, let's do another round of fan appreciation. Let's pick two from the audience. All right, I'm gonna pick a Hello Kitty shirt right here in front.
All right. I'm gonna go right there with like the red dress thing. And that, yes, that one.
Come on up,
Yes.
that's right here. Exciting, how about? Thank you guys.
Let's give them a round of applause for walking up here. Did everybody?
So what's your name?
Hannah.
I think I have your story here too, actually. Next.
I don't think it's here.
Oh,
okay, there's
another Hannah here, so yeah.
Fantastic.
So tell us your story.
Okay, well, when I was in high school, I was kind of the weird one, and I would go and talk to people that sat in the corner and didn't do anything. And one particular girl that I went and talked to, her name was Kayla, and she invited me to go home and stuff, and she was like my best friend, and we watched Full Metal Alchemist together, and
So relevant.
and because of her, I was able to get through a lot of really hardships in my life, and I met some really great friends through Skype and at anime conventions, and just recently, Kayla got arrested, and she's in jail right now, and because of the friends that I made through the support that Kayla gave me, I would not be here today to be at this awesome panel and hang out with my fantastic friends, and I really gotta thank you guys for that.
Yes, thank you. Absolutely. Yeah, let's see. You've got you a wonderful. Let's see where it is down there. That's thank you. Now it's a spicy wolf bag. Everyone that's over there. Take care of that. All right, step right up. And your name is?
It's Nicole. It's Nicole.
Hello, Nicole.
Hi. Oh, hello.
What's your story?
Alright, so at first I knew absolutely nothing about anime at all. But my best friend actually, who I met a long time ago in elementary school, introduced anime to me in 7th grade. My first series was Chobits. And yeah, and from seeing that anime, just watching that first series, I mean, it really allowed me to connect with her because she was my best friend all through school, throughout my life. And at home, I basically had a really tough family situation. I came from a family where a lot of people were just lying a lot, and a lot of yelling, constant arguing, and just nobody getting along. And it was just really tough being at home. And it just basically was hell. I couldn't really get a chance to go out and hang out with people, or I felt kind of trapped in a sense. And anime was just something I could escape to and go to because the stories and characters inspired me to keep going on forward and do my best. And it still really inspires me today. And because of it, I've been able to meet so many people. And I really appreciate anime.
That's awesome.
A Fairy Tale Part 1 DVD box set. So we have awesome here. All right, let's do a couple stories.
One more round of applause for them.
Yes,
Thank you.
All right, so here, I'll let you start.
Okay. And this thing. Okay. This one's from also a Hannah F. Funimation changed my life many years ago, and it's still something that sticks with me today. Back in 2003, while I was in middle school, I was bullied to the point where not only did I not have any friends, but the people that used to be friends with me turned their backs on me and started picking on me. After school, I would always watch shows like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, which then led me to move on to Yu Yu Hakusho and Dragon Ball Z. Because these shows had storyline and characters that were three-dimensional, except for the dying more than once and the crazy power levels, they seemed almost red to me. I then learned through Yu Yu Hakusho that these shows that I like were in fact called anime and were from Japan and had been dubbed into English by Funimation. I grew to love everything about the series, and I learned to live my life happily while still being bullied at school. Everything was okay when I thought about the characters. I would pretend that Yusuke, Kuwabara, and Kurama would protect me. Come on, we all know Haywood. Haywood, exactly. I could go Gohan's high school.
I could go to Gohan's high school.
Go to, there's not two.
You got
I could go to Gohan's high school, and then things would be okay, and Goten and I could even train together. And later I started to like other Funimation shows like Fruits Basket and Case Closed. Never once, even though I had no real friends or life, and I was bullied, never once did I think about killing myself. And as I got older, I realized that was pretty rare. Most kids got bullied the way I did, and would have cut themselves or thought about horrible things like that. These shows that Funimation showed me kept me from ever thinking that. When I was sad, I thought not of hurting myself, but what it was like to be them, and be friends with them, all the characters. What it would be like if I lived with them in their world, and that made me happy and kept me going. Now I'm in college, studying Japanese. I have tons of friends that I love dearly, a boyfriend which I love with all my heart. They all treat me great, and I couldn't ask for a better life. I still watch a ton of anime, and in fact, I even go by the nickname Total Anime Fan. I hope to one day be a translator for Funimation. I feel like I need to give back to Funimation for all they've done. They didn't know it, but all these years they're helping me through dark times, and I know I can't be the only one.
Alright. One more, we'll get back to the slides. This is from Jared S. Several years ago, 3 things happened in a short span of time. My mom was diagnosed with a rare and terminal cancer called thymoma. My younger brother was injured by an IED while serving in Afghanistan, and I was exposed to the show called Full Metal Alchemist. My brother recovered, but the fight against my mom's cancer continues. For 4 massive surgeries, months of chemo, and maxing out her lifetime amount of radiation later, she's enrolled in experimental treatment in what is essentially the last chance. The determination to show why many in the cast of Full Metal, especially Ed, helps. While circumstances are obviously different from in the show, I can find myself relating to his character as an older brother and as a son. And in some odd, emotional ways, determination helps me give me determination to help and aid my family. The themes of family, brotherhood, and never giving up no matter what the situation doesn't speak to me, they scream. Full Metal Alchemist isn't the only thing that gives me the extra push on the bad days, but it certainly is one of the biggest ones. Thank you. It's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it really validates what we do, and it gives us a reason to keep doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's all about you guys, really. It is. What we do is so you guys can enjoy this type of entertainment and disseminate it into your own lives as you see fit.
Yeah, we have long days in the office, but seeing and hearing these kind of stories just keep us going no matter what. So thank you. All right, let's do one more fan appreciation.
I have a story that must be said. I have a story that must be said.
I'm gonna pick Buzz Lightyear. You pick someone else.
I'm gonna go with, he's really tall. I'll go with a really tall
Captain Cameron
with the head thing.
Oh, him?
Yeah.
I'll say
Deadpool,
With the hat.
Dead
Alright.
Bunny.
With ears and eyes.
Yeah, Dead Bunny.
That's red. Hello.
Come on.
Come on.
So what's your name?
My name's Brett.
Tell us your story, Brett.
Okay, so a little bit of backstory. I go to a community college, so unless you already know the person or you have a class with the person, you don't talk to each other at all. And so one day at lunch, I decided to start talking to my friend about Dragon Ball Z and telling him about the Kai series and how it takes out all the fillers. And behind me, someone says, "Did you just say Dragon Ball Z? I used to watch that." So he comes over to our table and he starts talking to us about it. We get another person hears it, another person hears it. Sooner or later, we get about 30 people all talking about Dragon Ball Z. These are all guys, mind you. Girls don't watch Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, they do.
As kids.
Yeah, they do. They totally do.
All right, my apologies.
Why joining for you guys?
I never knew you.
Abort the joke, abort the joke.
So anywho, I look around at the group and I see jocks, I see bros, gangsters, name it, it was there. The awkward kid, the lonely kid. We were all just talking about Dragon Ball Z and how awesome it was when we were watching it as kids. And we all, whenever someone would say something awesome like Broly, everyone would, yeah! And we all found out that since all the fillers are gone, the episode where Goku tries getting a license is gone. And so this was a Friday, and it went over the weekend, and I'm like, all right, so that was cool. Like, we got a bunch of people. And then Monday comes along, and I sit down, and I'm just playing my DS, playing some Pokemon. Person from the group Friday comes over and sits next to me. We have more people just come over, and they're like, oh, you still play Pokemon? I love Pokemon. I know you'd lose it if I played that. I'm like, yeah, right.
That's awesome.
Well, what is that? So I'm like looking at this, I'm like, just talking about Dragon Ball Z got all these people to start talking to each other.
It's a glue that binds us.
Yes. And I'm like, and I just thought, I'm like, that's a beautiful thing about this generation. We all had one thing in common as a kid, and we forgot that we all watched that. But
all right, I gotta interject here. How many of you guys watched Adult Swim on last Saturday night? You know it. Hashtag bring Toonami back. We made it trended. It trended. That was completely nostalgic, ridiculous. I think every fanboy in the world. They're playing tonight.
What? We're all gonna miss it because we're here.
I don't want to take away more time. But the beautiful thing is that because I brought up Dragon Ball Z, I started whole new social gatherings, like people talking to people who never talked to each other before, and I just thought that was wonderful.
It is wonderful. Thank you very much.
Some One Piece stuff. I think there's also some One Piece stuff for this thing, which had stuff in front of me. That's the right details. So let's give your name right there. Come on now. And your name is?
Hello, Ryan.
Where I grew up, anime wasn't really a big thing until I found out about Toonami, of course. I started watching it, and I didn't think anybody was watching it but me until I met some friends at school. So we're all watching. I'm like, I can't wait for the next episode of Dragon Ball Z, Yu Yu Hakusho, Sailor Moon. I don't care what it was. It was cool to us. Then I found out that my mom's boyfriend was a giant Dragon Ball Z fan, and he actually had the Majin Buu saga before it was being played on TV. So I knew about it before anybody else did. So I was kind of the to-go kid for anime. I started looking it up online. I'm figuring out, holy crap, there's so much other stuff on here that's really cool and awesome. So my friends would come up to me and say, hey, did you know that Majin Buu absorbs Gotenks? I go, yeah, he absorbs Piccolo and Gohan too.
Spoilers.
Spoiler.
It's 20 years old. It's not spoilers.
So in high school, I get the idea, why don't I start an anime club? At first, the first year, nobody joined because it was high school, everyone thought it was dumb. Next year, I got like almost everybody in my class to join, and I started doing it in college, and now more than half the campus is a member of the group, so I thought it was kind of cool, because like I was learning about stuff that I would have never learned unless somebody had told me about it previously.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, starting club.
Yeah. How many of you guys are in the anime club?
That's awesome. Exactly. Yeah. I ran one in college, so I can totally get that. It was a big thing, a big community thing. You almost had your stuff. You watched anime, hung out with your friends, did your thing, and he wins some Funimation bag and some moron stuff, like some stickers and some postcards.
Cool. Thank you very much.
All right.
Well, thank you very much. Okay. All right, our next writer is Alexa A here. I'm gonna be honest here. I've been watching Funimation dubbed anime since I was 5 years old. I remember turning on the television after school, waiting for the famous Toonami logo to appear and play my favorite program. I love this. Like it all
It's always perfect. It was you mentioned Tsunami.
Such as Dragon Ball Z and Yu Yu Hakusho. However, the most influential show that ignited my passion to become an animator was Oda's One Piece.
One Piece fans? One Piece fans?
The way the characters pursued their dreams with such strong passions made me stop and think about myself. I was applying for college and was stuck between becoming an animator or architect. I thought, what did I want to do with my life? I was at a crossroad. Should I follow what I love and become a Japanese-inspired animator, or follow architecture based on society's standards? Until then, I had wanted to become an architect, thinking I would still be able to draw, albeit buildings. I was lost as to what to pursue. However, when I began reading One Piece, a particular line struck me. I've set myself to become the king of the pirates, and if I die trying, then at least I tried. When I read that, I was taken aback. How could one person be so confident in his dreams, so unwavering in his ambition? As I read on, I started to admire Luffy more and more, and thought, if this man can follow his dream, why can't I? It was then that a spark ignited in me. As I glanced at the mountain of sketchbooks on my desk filled with fan art and original characters, I finally realized what I wanted to do with my life. I desired, needed to follow my passion of becoming a Japanese-inspired animator, and I failed. At least I tried, and I gave it my all. The theme of no regrets that recurs frequently in One Piece has impacted my view about my dream, and has inspired me to follow my passion of becoming a Japanese-inspired animator. And to think it was all because in 2008, Funimation acquired the rights to One Piece and allowed it to be shown over the internet. Thank you, Funimation, for not only giving me anime during my 17 years of life, but also for having such a strong impact in my life, enough to help me decide what I want to do as a career. I cannot thank you enough.
So obviously this person was good. One Piece stuff. Yeah. Totally didn't think that was a good idea. All right, our last one from the panel is from Nicole C. Every time I tell someone who my best friend is, they are very surprised. I never would have guessed, they said. You two are polar opposites. It is very true. People found it funny that I, the honors and achievement placement student from the high school, only international science fair winner in history, ate lunch and hung around, I think he should have schooled, hung around the halls with a girl who was mostly in the lower level classes. I am way too talkative and outlandish while she is shy and conservative. I am in the sun and nature worshiper while she prefers air conditioning and indoors. I'm too fidgety and she's too patient. Yes, we are polar opposites and under normal circumstances would probably be completely incompatible. We had been connected since childhood by one bizarre obsession, anime. I've known my best friend since we were 6 years old. Soon after she introduced me to Sailor Moon, which became inseparable. Soon after that, our obsession turned to Pokemon, collecting cards, and becoming our new hobby. It was around the same time, however, that our bond began to break. My parents were getting divorced, and I stopped seeing my dad. I was overly clinging to my friends and preventing her from branching out more. She was the only child whose mom was going through cancer treatment. She became depressed and very controlling of others as well. Our personalities clashed and we went our separate ways. 7 years later, the two of us are seniors in high school. We talk to each other sometimes in the hall, just casually greeting, nothing more. I had never had a friend so close as she since we parted, but I continued to watch anime by the boatload. During that time, I was watching Oran High School Host Club on the FUNimation.com. She had turned away from anime for the most part. In the halls one day, she asked if I had heard of an anime called Oran High School Host Club. We realized we were both watching it. She had even bought the DVDs to both seasons and was collecting every manga volume. I was really passionate about Oran too, and had bought some kind of keychains and DVDs. Finally, we reestablished a connection. I was able to talk to and laugh with someone about anime rather than hiding my interest in the closet. We would watch the outtakes over and over, laughing our way through each scene. Unlike when we were younger, we did not feel a sense of competition when watching the show. It was not about who could collect the most merchandise, manga, or DVDs. It was about being together and staying friends. Just as Tamaki used the Host Club to foster a sense of togetherness and family for its members, the Oran High School Host Club anime did the same for my friends and me. Funimation, thank you for bringing this amazing anime to the United States and helping me rediscover what being a friend means. Thank you also for reading from my very sappy story. Caitlin Glass, Vic Mignogna, Jay Michael Tate, Greg Ayers, Todd Havercott, Lisa Christian, Travis Willingham, and the rest are amazing dubcasts and producers. Thank you for the hours of laughs you gave us, which are definitely providing great stress relief, especially during our college career. We will be in the Funimation panel, so look for a brown-haired girl who is jumping and squealing excessively, and a blonde girl who is unlikely hiding under the seat next to her. Nicole? Thank you for coming. It was a wonderful story. We will be mailing you your fun stuff.
Or on fun stuff.
And there's enough to share.